Cairo, the capital of Egypt, constantly inhabited for the last 14 centuries, has long been one of the most important cities in the Arab world. The added strain of a population explosion over the last 30 years has made Cairo one of the densest urban spaces in the world. It's now home to over 20 million people, making it the biggest city in Africa and the Middle East, and larger than the entire populations of Libya, Lebanon, and Jordan combined. And endearingly nicknamed by its residents as el-Donya, Mother of the World. Cairo's growth until now has always been limited by its geography. But now, the contours of the city are changing. Way beyond its former limits, new developments are materializing in the surrounding desert sands that for centuries have been left untouched. Then selling off public-owned land to corporations who promise to fence off and filter access, the Egyptian state is jumping on a global bandwagon that has been steadily gathering momentum for years. Satellite cities, complete with gated compounds, universities, and corporate headquarters, aim to one day become the nucleus of the capital that is ultimately turning itself inside out. Drawn into these vast spaces and surrounded by the drone of construction, I was mesmerized by the exposed layers of the new urban centers being developed among the desert dunes. In focusing on these landscapes, I wanted to capture the reality of fantasy lifestyles in mid-production, to document the extravagance of a few whose wealth puts sharp focus on the fact that 40% of Egyptians live on less than $2 a day. The surreal remodeling of the landscape shows little appreciation for the environment it is rapidly colonizing. From the decisions of a few, Cairo is morphing its periphery into its core whilst condemning the previous center to a life on the margins. I felt witness to a mass exit strategy taking shape, and with the camera recorded the foundations of abandonment in pursuit of self-interest and exclusive isolation. The image of a lone palm tree, an attempt at camouflaging a cell phone mast, stands as a symbol to the incongruous developments planned for this barren desert landscape, where little life has existed for centuries. The image of an endless horizon of unfinished properties brings scale to a space more frontier town than government-planned urban centre. The lone bricklayer dwarfed and engulfed by the world he's helped create, and which will ultimately lock him out. The alarming green golf course that rises miraculously from some of the most arid land on Earth, and yet, on closer inspection, is struggling to maintain its natural appearance as it wilts under the fierce sun. Mass uprisings earlier this year that unseated Hosni Mubarak from nearly 30 years of power have turned Egypt from a regional pillar of stability into a landscape of uncertainty. Ongoing court cases are exposing the corruption of former regime cronies, including 2 housing ministers who are under investigation. Developers are also targets, as stories emerge of cut-rate land deals that may have deprived the state of millions of dollars. Supporters of the satellite cities projects see the desert as a chance to rebuild the iconic city from scratch, free from the congestion and chaos they believe has blighted the capital. As Cairo is reshaped, the current economic separation will inevitably grow into a physical one, as walls are built and its people divided even further.